First question, can you tell us about how you decided to start this DC camp?
I think because I suffer so much, but then when I look around, people also suffer. And then the first person that I look at quickly is my mother. And she, I do not understand until I become a father myself. She lost so many of her children, her husband, her parent, all her brother and sister, and she never cried. And my mother is a peasant girl. She cannot read and write, but she look after us, she take care of us, she protect us. But there's a point that she failed to protect us when the Khmer Rouge beat me, when they killed my sister. And I think as a mother, the pain watching someone beat up your own children is the greatest pain that a mother can endure. So I feeling of a revenge. I was very angry with the Khmer Rouge. I started this work for revenge. I want to go and beat up the Khmer Rouge, put them in jail. But then I found like thousands of them around the country. And then when I returned to the village where I was put in prison, and I found the village chief who suffered me. I found the prison guard who tortured me. So I talked to them. But they don't remember me, because I thought that all the perpetrators remember the face of the victim, but in fact the other way around. So then the story they was telling us, it was so human story. They also lost their children. They also were sufferer. They also, the other sides of them. When they destroy my mother's family, they keep their own. When they starve us, they have food to eat. When they kill us, they want to live. So it made me think, what does this to all of us? So I began to change, look into reconciliation, look into the futures, and the revenge gradually fading away. And for my mother's wounds, it can never be healed as a mother, and for a lifetime. So I do all these things, perhaps in search of healing for myself, because I meet so many victims and survivors and mothers that suffer. And so research, it helped healing, because I'm lucky. I can fly to Bangkok, I can travel, I go to better school, my mother have good housing. But many other survivors, they're still living in poverty, they're facing new challenges, they lost their lands, they don't have food to eat. So research also helped me healing in a way. And so I want every single Cambodian heal the way they should and live in a better life as they should after the genocide. So that's sort of my inspiration. To be honest, I come to this work not because to reconcile, but I want revenge in the first place, because I was very, very angry with the Khmer Rouge. I was only 14 when they arrested me and put me in jail for picking up mushroom to feed my pregnant sisters, and they killed my sisters, my aunt, my uncle, my grandparents, everybody's. So, but then I have to accept the reality. You cannot change that. You have to move on. I don't want to live as a victim for the rest of my life. So if you see me in Bangkok, you don't think I'm a survivor. I'm just like all of you. I want to move on, to compete for success, to go to school, but then help others if I can. So that's sort of my inspiration. By doing this for others, it's helping myself.
So you're not angry anymore?
I never forgive them, I never apologize. So it's blank. When I meet the perpetrator, the killer who suffered me and my sister, they don't remember me, so they don't apologize. Because they never apologize, so I never forgive them. It's just like blank in your memory. It's just like this part were blocked. It's no process in terms of the Rex. Perhaps maybe because we're Asian, because we could be Buddhist, we believe in karma, Venkam, we believe things like that. Perhaps that's how we deal with. But in terms of the Rex, in the Western way, in the Christian way, like forgive and apology never happened. Because he didn't remember me, so why should he apologize for who? And since he never remembered me and never apologized, why should I forgive him? So it becoming like Perhaps this is also a process of reconciling by being apart. So he no longer a part of my life. I'm no longer angry, but I never forgive. Never had a chance to forgive because the perpetrator do not remember me.
So how to make the society become reconciling towards each other, and how to make the society move on then?
You have to depend on the young generation. For us as a victim, direct victim, it's just a broken glass. You try to pick all these small pieces together, it's never the same. You have to rely on the young generation, proper education. They are the best healing reconciliation medicine at home. So when the kid began to learn to understand, you have to accept that genocide is part of us. It's our history. You cannot denying it. So having children learning this, create a process, talking to parent until your parent part of the school assignment. You create a society that allow people to take and charge their own history. So they will decide what to do, because reconciliation is personal. You cannot tell my mother to forgive or tell the perpetrator to apologize. It's just so personal. How can you tell a mother to forgive someone who killed her own daughter? Even today, if somebody kill your kid, how could somebody else tell you to forgive him or her? It's a personal thing. It's a life, human life. And therefore, Cambodia, I hope that with the growing young population, with proper education, not to be embarrassed by our own history, but to embrace, to learn, and to share, then perhaps can help us to grow. Like for me, I use the Khmer Rouge to better myself. I'm not crying with it. I'm not living as a victim. So I use it to better myself. And that's what I want Cambodia to do, not to be embarrassed by this history. Get out being a victim, to be educators, to be a doctor, to be a lawyers. And so that the Khmer Rouge can no longer be with us, to free yourselves through education. So I think that Cambodia is moving to that direction. It's fragile, it's sensitive, but you got to face it, and now we are facing it. With the tribunal, the whole world forced Cambodian to face this publicly. It's a global pressure on Cambodia to look at this history. So it creates culture of debate, create ownership of the history, creates a better political environment, create better education. But facing it is extremely difficult. People are divided. My mothers and I and my niece are divided on how justice is being done. That because we care so much about a better future look like. So that is Cambodian experience. It's extremely difficult, but now we are being forced. And I think that's only a solution, because we've been hiding this for so many years and it's not working. So now we have to face this thing. I think that human rights, we all are humans. Even those a few small group were killed or abused, it comes back to you, because memory are very powerful. Even though you kill them for a long, long time, you buried them, but there's always something left behind, photograph, writing, textbook, or even story. It comes back to you. I think the government must deal with all these issues before it's becoming a conflict as a whole. And I think that memory as a human experience through Cambodian genocide, the most powerful internal force of humanity. It will express when time comes. It will come back to you. So I think that this is the only way that the government have to address this. Even those thousands, hundreds that have been abused and killed, you have got to address this. Like in case of Cambodia, people thought that never happened after 34 years, but they come back.
So if, like Thailand, if to compare with Cambodia, of course, is very much smaller in scales, but what do you think that Thailand can learn from Cambodia, especially from the political violence that just happened?
I mean, it would be wrong to compare suffering, because every mother suffered the same way when lost a child. So let's compare that Thailand is smaller scale, Cambodia is a bigger scale. But when you lost your loved one, you suffer the same way, you sorrow the same way. So even those, in case of Thailand, and I think that in terms of Thai society, I think by having addressed this issue, it made the Thai society more healthier. Because you cannot pretend that everything was beautiful here. You cannot pretend that in Thailand. And if you keep pretending that everything was fine, and then someday it will explode it. And if the government do not invest in educations, in such research, then it come back to you. So I think that by having this group, and I'm very impressed because it's actually helping the Thai society. And I think now because now we ASEAN, we integrated, there's so much connection between the Thais and the Khmer in terms of human rights. In terms of ASEAN, all young ASEAN, they study banking, finance, accounting. We in trouble if we face European competitor. If we face China, if we face Japan, you need to equip not just only the Thai and the Khmer, but the young ASEAN population about human rights. If you want to have a better regional economics development. So in case of Thailand, Cambodia, it can be a huge impact over ASEAN understanding. You look around in Hong Kong, in Singapore, in Malaysia, all of the young ASEAN doesn't even know what happens in Malaysia, or in Malaysia they don't even know that it's Islam in Cambodia, So that is a very, in terms of regional understanding, in terms of Thailand or Cambodia no longer can be isolated, but have to survive through regional economic. You got to do this, and Thailand and Cambodia can be a huge impact. Even though the issue of the two may not be represent the whole as a whole, but can do so much to make not just only Thailand more healthy society. But I'm sure that tourists would love to visit this place, but they don't know. They don't know this place, they know Sukhumvit, they know Silom, they know Siam Paragon. But I'm sure that this has been addressed. It would be interesting to see between the evil and the angel of Bangkok. And that gives the tourists more understanding of the Thai society. So I think that the Thai can link it because the genocide have also destroyed the Thai citizen in Cambodia. It showed that genocide is a crime against humanity. It doesn't mean you Thai, you Vietnamese, you Khmer, you Lao. They kill everybody. And genocide, you don't have to take 2 million to call it genocide. Even a small group also can be genocide. And that can lead. And there's a patterns, there's a stage that can lead to genocide. So Thailand is a good situation compared to Cambodia to prevent, because you never know that small scale of violence or abuse can lead to genocide. You never know. And you should not underestimate human instinct and resilience or rebellion. When they were suppressed, they were exploited. So I think in terms of the current political conflict, there's so much that the regional experience can be benefit to Thailand. You can learn from Cambodia, from Burma, Laos. So I think that, like it or not now, the ASEAN politics force us to understand each other. So I'm glad it's taking the lead. I think the government should appreciate this because it makes Thailand look better. When you go to Suvarnabhumi Airport, you have like the memorial of October 14 as a place to visit, to learn, to take exhibition, to dialogue. That would be great. I come to this place many times, but not many people know this place. Because why? Because never addressed at the national level. And that is a danger. If the Thai government fails to address this, it can create a danger. Society like Cambodia, we thought, oh, that's okay, just a few Vietnamese, just a few killing of the Vietnamese, then it's okay, but it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it's too late to stop. And so much of us tend to focus on nationalism. When you become so narrow, it leads to violence, and that's a danger. And so much about nationalization, then it can lead to conflicts as well, and that sometimes, because of social media, because of all these things, it can inflict it immediately. So this work actually contribute to preventing and making the Thai societies better, and by connecting to Cambodia, who share similar culture, languages, food, and everything else, people to people suffer. despite the government in conflict, but you bring people together. We suffer the same genocide, the same crime against humanity. It's really a strong message to both governments who are now in conflicts.